In a busy office in New York, Alex stared at a mountain of files on his desk, his jaw clenched in silence. When a colleague dropped another heavy folder with a careless, "Thanks, man," Alex forced a tight, polite smile and nodded, saying, "No problem, I've got it." But as he turned back to his screen, his hands trembled, and his heart felt heavy with a bitterness he couldn't name. He believed he was being a good person, a nice guy. In reality, he was slowly committing spiritual suicide. One autumn afternoon, Alex drove far away from the noise of the city. He arrived at a small house where the golden leaves were falling slowly to the ground. His grandfather was sitting on the porch, watching the sunset in silence. Alex sat beside him, his head low. "Grandpa," he whispered, "I try so hard to make everyone happy. I never say no. I am always nice. But inside, I feel like I am breaking." The old man looked at his grandson with eyes full of compassion. He didn't say a word at first. Instead, he reached into a wooden box and pulled out a beautiful white mask. It had a perfect, bright smile painted on it. But when Alex took it, he flinched. The inside of the mask was lined with sharp, tiny needles. "This is what it means to be nice, Alex," the grandfather said softly. "You wear a smile to make the world feel comfortable, but those needles are pressing into your own skin. You are not being kind to others out of love. You are being nice out of fear. Fear of being disliked, fear of conflict." Alex looked at the mask, his heart aching as he realized the truth. He'd been hurting himself just to keep the peace. The grandfather pointed to a small stream nearby, and then to the dark clouds forming in the sky. "Being nice is like a still pond that looks calm on the surface, but underneath it is filled with hidden trash and decay because the water never moves. But being kind is like a heavy rain. It might make people feel wet and uncomfortable for a moment. It might even be loud, but it is the only thing that can wash the dirt away and bring true growth. Kindness is about the truth. Niceness is only about the show." Alex looked down at the mask in his hands, and for the first time, he felt a strange sense of relief. The grandfather stood up and pointed toward an old, weathered wooden chair sitting in the corner of the porch. "Alex," he said with a serious face, "I want you to go to that chair, look it in the eye, and tell it no. But don't just say it. I want you to be rude. Tell it to leave you alone and that you don't care about its feelings." Alex stared at his grandfather, completely confused. "But, Grandpa, it's just a chair. Why would I be mean to a piece of wood?" "Because," the old man replied, "you have spent so many years being nice to people who don't deserve it that you have forgotten how to speak your own truth. You think being nice is a virtue, but niceness is often just a form of cowardice. When you say yes only because you are afraid of a no, you are not being honest. You are creating a shadow of resentment inside your heart. Every time you smile while you are angry, you add another drop of poison to your soul." Alex walked slowly to the chair. He felt foolish. He took a deep breath and whispered a soft, "No." "Louder," the grandfather commanded. "No, I won't do it," Alex shouted at the empty seat. He felt a sudden, sharp rush of energy. It was like a dam had finally broken inside him. The grandfather nodded slowly. "You see, Alex, being nice is saying what people want to hear, just to protect yourself from trouble. That is selfish. But being kind is saying what someone needs to hear, even if it is difficult. Think of a surgeon. A surgeon must use a sharp knife to cut into a patient. It causes pain. It causes blood. But it is the only way to remove the cancer and save a life. Being nice is like giving a patient a sugary drink to make them feel happy for a moment, while the wound underneath is rotting and spreading. The sugary drink is comfortable, but the surgery is what actually heals. Kindness is brave enough to be uncomfortable. It chooses the health of the relationship over the comfort of the moment. Alex stood in silence, looking at the old chair, finally understanding that his silence hadn't been a gift to others, but a lie to himself. A few days later, Alex returned to the city. The office was just as loud, and the pressure was just as heavy. When the same colleague walked over and tried to dump another task onto his desk, Alex didn't reach for his mask. He didn't force a fake smile. He looked up, took a calm breath and said, "I can't help you with this today. I have my own work to finish." His voice was quiet, but it was firm. For the first time, he didn't feel the sharp needles of resentment. He felt free. From today's story, we learn a vital lesson about the human heart. Being nice is often a shadow we hide behind because we are afraid. But being kind is a light that requires strength. To be truly kind, you must first be brave enough to set boundaries. You must be honest enough to say no when your soul is screaming for rest. Remember, you are not a bad person for choosing your peace over someone else's convenience. Stop trying to please the whole world while you are losing yourself. A still pond with no movement becomes stagnant, but a river that flows with purpose stays clean and brings life to everything it touches. Be like the river. The world does not need more exhausted people wearing masks of niceness. The world needs people who are genuinely kind, people with hearts of gold and boundaries of steel. When you protect your own energy, you finally have the strength to truly help others. From now on, choose truth over comfort. Choose kindness over niceness. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who is currently struggling to say no. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more life lessons to help you grow. Stay brave, stay kind, and remember, the most important person you need to be kind to is yourself. Until next time.